Pull out any American banknote. $1, a 5, a 10, a 20. Look at the face staring back at you. Washington, Lincoln, Hamilton, Jackson, Franklin. Every single one of them has been dead for at least 100 years. Now think about that for a moment. The United States is a country that celebrates its living celebrities, its living athletes, its living presidents louder than almost any other nation on earth. Yet on its money, the thing every single American touches every single day, only the dead are allowed. Is that a law? Is it a tradition? Did someone just decide this once and nobody ever questioned it? The answer involves a corrupt senator, a very awkward political situation, and a rule that is far more recent than most people assume. Welcome to History Behind Simple Things. Today we are uncovering the surprising reason why only dead people appear on American currency. To understand the rule, we first need to understand that for a long stretch of American history there was no rule at all. In the early years of the United States, currency was not even standardized. Individual banks printed their own notes and put whatever they liked on them. It was chaotic, inconsistent, and wide open to counterfeiting. It was not until the Civil War in the 1860s that the U.S. government began issuing standardized national currency. And in those early years of federal banknotes, living people did appear on American money. Salmon P. Chase, who was the Secretary of the Treasury at the time, put his own face on the $1 bill in 1862 while he was very much alive and actively serving in government. Nobody stopped him. There was no rule against it. But then came the incident that changed everything. In 1866, a man named Spencer Clark, the head of a small government office called the National Currency Bureau, authorized the printing of his own portrait on a 5-cent fractional currency note. He was a minor government official. Not a president. Not a war hero. Just a bureaucrat who decided, apparently without much shame, to put his own face on federal money. Congress was furious. The backlash was immediate and severe. A senator named John Sherman, the same man who later authored the famous Sherman Antitrust Act, stood up in Congress and proposed a bill that would make it illegal for any living person to appear on U.S. currency or government securities. The bill passed. It became law. And that law has remained in place ever since. The exact legal language states that no portrait of a living person shall appear on any U.S. currency, coin, or government security. The reasoning given at the time was straightforward. Putting a living person on currency was seen as uncomfortably close to self-promotion using public money. It raised concerns about political influence. A president could theoretically put their own face on the currency during their term and use it as a form of ongoing propaganda. And it opened the door to exactly the kind of abuse that Spencer Clark had already demonstrated was possible. There was also a deeper philosophical argument. Money is supposed to be permanent, stable, trustworthy across time. A living person's reputation can change. A politician celebrated today can be disgraced tomorrow. A face on currency needs to be beyond controversy, beyond political cycles, beyond the possibility of an embarrassing reversal. The dead, whatever their flaws, are at least finished. History has had its time to judge them. Interestingly, the rule only applies to federal currency and government securities. It does not apply to postage stamps. And over the years, a small number of living Americans have appeared on stamps, causing quiet controversy each time. But on the money itself, the rule has never been broken since Spencer Clark's embarrassing power move in 1866. There have been occasional proposals over the decades to change the faces on American banknotes entirely. The effort to replace Andrew Jackson with Harriet Tubman on the $20 bill has been debated, delayed, and revived multiple times in recent years. But every proposed replacement has been, without exception, a historical figure who died long ago. The living need not apply. So the next time you hand over a $20 bill and glance at the face on the front, remember that the reason it belongs to someone long dead is not tradition for tradition's sake. It is the direct consequence of one obscure government official in 1866 who could not resist putting his own face on the nation's money, and a Congress that was angry enough to make sure it could never happen again. If you enjoyed discovering the surprising history behind this simple thing, hit that like button, and subscribe to History Behind Simple Things. And leave a comment telling us where you're watching from. And I'll see you in the next one.